Now then, can you see me? Let me take my glasses off so I can see you. I think I'm live, I don't know. Let's see what's going on here. I've got this MacGyvered episode that I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. Let's see here. Go here. And see how that does. I'm back live now. Yeah. Click on this and see if it'll work. Click on this and see if it'll work. Anybody on here yet? I don't think so. Anybody on here yet? I don't think so. Anybody on here yet? I don't think so. Anybody on here yet? Hey, Tony. Is this thing going around and around again? Hey, Tony. Is this thing going around and around again? Hey, Tony. I hear some kind of background noise. Are there noise in the background right now? Are there noise in the background right now? How about now? Did that help, Tony? Good. Yeah. Maybe I've got this thing some MacGyvered up. Ain't no telling what's going to happen. Am I still putting out noise? It's better. Okay. I had feedback. I've got my laptop on. I've got my iPhone on. And I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. I'm doing good, Josh. I've had a good week this week. They about wollered me to death. But other than that, I am great. It's rained here all day today. It's supposed to quit, and I hope they pretty tomorrow. I don't know. Thank you, Larry. I was about to let this thing whip me, I think, but I believe I've got it figured out. I don't know if I can talk to Mars or not, but I sure can make it back feed. Hey, Nick. Hey, Clint. Boy, it's been nasty here today. Just old cold rain. We rode down to Tennessee and had lunch down in Greenville. It's a good trip, boys, and just nasty all the way there and back. And my son, he's having to go to his job today, and he's got to drive all the way down to Columbia, South Carolina in the rain. They never get so old that you quit worrying about them. I can tell you that right now, you know. I worry about him when he's off like that. But he's got to make a living. Hope we get to saw tomorrow. Got a few orders to do. Maybe we can get that done. Have a good week next week. There's a lot of stress in this last week. I was worrying about all them tests, and they come out really good. So, and that just drained me when that happened. So I was hoping for it, but you know, you try to brace yourself for the worst too. So that's the way it goes. But it's just one of them things. Can everybody hear me now? Yeah. Hey, Paul, you're from Kentucky. Skidder Kill, hey, how's it going up in the frozen north? It's warmed up down here a little bit. I'm reading instead of talking. I can't multitask. I can't do both of them at one time. Uh, hey Nathan, she did, didn't she? I'm gonna try to get her doing that, and I don't know if she will or not. Yeah, it's. I think we're supposed to get some more snow sometime this week. I don't know, but I think it's been the 50s here today. 40 in Maine. It won't stay that way. But got 10 watching now, I think. But I'm doing this on my cell phone. I'm looking at the people talking back on my computer. So I don't know. I can't get the computer and the little old camera on it to work. It backfeeds some way. Yeah, there's a lot of mud here too, Tony. It's nasty. Fortunately, we got all that cement out the sawmill a couple of years ago, and that really helped. It'd be way steep down there if we didn't have that. So, yeah. 50 in Michigan. It won't stay that way, Nathan. I had a brother that lived in Michigan. He lived in Waterfordton, just north of Detroit. He passed away in 2011. He wasn't but 54 years old. Up there, when it's cold, it usually stays cold. Like down here, it'll be like down in the 20s or teens, and usually by lunchtime it'll be back up above freezing. Hey, Greg. It has been unseasonably cold here this winter. We've seen one or two mornings at 0, and that's kind of odd for us. It very seldom gets down in the single digits. But we've managed to, keep it working. But if it's below 20 degrees, I don't go down there and start that stuff. My arm's so old, it'll break, and it gets that cold. So I figured it'd be better off just to wait. We ain't got no way of warming the loader. I can plug the sawmill motor up and warm it, and it'll start right up. But that loader, I need to do a video on that. I take a torch and warm it and get it to start. But I don't like to work in it that cold. It hurts my bones. Hey, Excavating 320. I don't cut a whole lot of sycamore. I've got some sycamore slabs out there that has been cut for probably 6 months, and I need to run them through the planer and sell them. Sycamore is pretty wood, and there's a lot of sycamore down here. I just don't buy much of it, and if I do buy it, I don't give hardly anything for it. That Jerry Rosa, it makes guitars and things up in Missouri. He showed a mandolin and it was made out of sycamore, the biggest part of it, and it was really pretty. Now, I don't mind sycamore too bad. I don't like saw white spruce. White spruce is probably the worst. And yellow locust, some people call it black locust. I won't even saw it anymore. That stuff, I believe if a man saw that every day, it'd kill him. And white oak's kind of tough, but I will saw some white oak. But white oak's tough, and I don't saw hickory either. Hickory's just a pain. And our hickory down here is not real good anyway. But now sycamore saws right well. The trouble with sycamore is after you saw it, that stuff will crawl out of the stack. It'll warp and twist so bad. I like to saw white pine. I like to saw poplar. Beech saw's good. And black gum saw's real good. I guess black gum's probably my favorite. And as hard as it is to bust, you'd think it wouldn't saw good, but this saw's real good. But if something's kind of stringy, that's what makes it hard to saw. And basswood's hard to saw. It'll that fuzz will get on it and rub the saw and get hot. Yeah, poplar saw's good. It moves around just a little bit, but not much. But if you're cutting it for the market and stuff, you've got to be real careful of them lice cuts. But usually that's just pallet stock anyway. But red oak saw's good. Walnut usually saw's good. Cherry, I like to saw cherry. Hard maple saw's good. Love to saw spalted maple. Soft maple's got the worms in it. And I think it was nuts saying it didn't break much up there. I've sold some spalted maple for some serious money before. Yeah, cherry's good. Cherry's just some pretty wood. There's a place not far from here. It's called Wolf Laurel, and it's high elevation. It's got some of the prettiest cherry you ever seen, but it's a gated community, and you can't hardly get any of it anymore. And over the years, they've cut it, where there ain't much left. But I have seen cherry trees back in there. It's probably 4 foot through and 60 foot to the first limb. Hey, Bucks, how's it a-going? You been a-working hard? But I've got some cherry here in my kitchen trim, and it looks like it's got flame in it. Beech usually does fairly well. It saws good. Beech is real bad to be holler, and. Hey, Nutsy, how's it going? You been good? But, now, let's see. Yeah, beech can be beech. It can. It's a different wood altogether, and it ain't a real high dollar wood. It ain't. It's hard to get excited over beech. And I devil log right about sassafras. But our sassafras down here, I think in my career I ain't never saw but maybe 1 or 2 sassafras trees. It don't get big at all. Yeah, makes good firewood. That's about it. I like to saw ash. Ash saws real good, and ash grades good. And the slabs off ash makes real good firewood. But the bugs really worked on the ash. And really, we cut more pine than anything else. I've got old and broke down, and pine's my favorite now. It's yeah, ash is kind of hard. Ash is more to me. It's more tough than it is hard. Like hard maple's hard, but ash is it's just a tough like wood. But it saws good. Any kind of wood that'll hold its shape good, it saws usually pretty good. It's that kind that moves around that'll rub your saw, get you in trouble. Yeah, pecan's good. Pecan and hickory's basically the same thing, but pecan grades out way better. I've got electric sharpener, and I can sharpen it with a file. The saw on my mill, it's got insert bits in it, you insert them in, and I need to do a video on that. Yes, Nathan, it does. To me, any dead wood's way harder to saw than greenwood. You can let hickory lay a while, and I don't even know if you can saw that stuff after it dries out. And poplar's bad. Back when they done the movie, The Last of the Mohegans, I peeled around 40,000 square feet of poplar bark. And I just laid the logs back because we was working wide open for that movie. And when it come to saw them things, it's just like bumblebee dust coming out of them. It's as hard as wide open to saw. Hey, J Dirt, how's it a-going? I seen you got your truck put back together. But it's just a struggle of sawmilling no matter what you're cutting. But any wood that's dried out, this don't seem to saw as good. And I've put like 2x10s back up and ripped them down and stuff before, and they don't saw as good as green ones. So they've been dried. But that's about what it is with the sawmill. And pretty much any tree that grows around here that's green will saw. Ain't never cut no hackenberry. I have cut some sweet gum. It come out of South Carolina, and that stuff's a booger to saw too. Yes, we've got the bug. These loggers is telling me it's just coming in here. And we've had a pine beetle bug and a hemlock bug for years. The hemlock is dying out in this area. And we don't have much cottonwoods here either. A lot of people brags on cottonwood, but we ain't got a whole lot of it. Elm's a little tough to deal with, Bucks. I cut a big old elm on my property over there one time, and it's kind of tough. Yeah, the hemlocks is. Somebody told me that's the reason they brought all the stink bugs into this country. I mean, we're inundated in the fall with stink bugs, and I think they eat the mite that gets in the hemlock, or that's what I've been told. And really and truly, we ain't got a whole lot of ash down here. But I hear it, it is a day. Yeah, cottonwood's kind of stringy too, ain't it, Nathan? I think it is. But our main thing down here is poplar and pine and the oaks, red oak and white oak. A little bit of hard maple and cherry and walnut. Back in the 1970s, walnut was really high, and they cut every walnut tree in this country back in, and there was a few got by, but a lot of them got cut, and a lot of them just died. My place on Big Laurel over there, it had, I bet you it had 30 or 40,000 feet of walnut on it one time, and I went in there to cut it, and there wasn't one left standing, just stumps. Yeah, that's the truth, Nathan. If it ain't worth much, it'll grow like one thing. White pine ain't real desirable, and they planted a lot of white pine in our area right after the war. And that they planted never did do real good. I think it was some kind of different species, but it just got up about a foot through and just stood there. Yeah, there's some good walnut up there in southern Indiana. Yeah, nuts, I love white pine. Yeah, a lot of people's a little bit scared of cherry. A lot of people won't buy cherry sawdust, and I know for pretty much for a fact that if a cherry leaves just wilted, it'll kill a cow or a horse. Yeah, ice tree, you have to really be careful with them. They'll split it nothing. Same way with a hickory and a walnut, you know. You're right, excavating. It will kill cattle. I worked with a boy that killed about a $20,000 horse with some cherry. Walnut dust will ruin their feet. You can't bed horses with walnut dust. It'll absolutely destroy their feet. I told somebody if you wanted to turn a nag into a show horse, just bed it with walnut and then sue the sawmill for killing your horse. That's true, Stormin. It's best to leave that cherry alone till the leaves is off of it. I think so, Nuts. I don't know. No, that's founder. I don't know. Yeah, they call it foundering them, but it ruins their feet. I don't know exactly what all it does to them. There was some people that I know pretty well years ago, and they had a couple of horses, and some cabinet maker gave them a bunch of shavings, and it had walnut in it, and ruined that lady's horse's feet. She spent like $900 on it, and finally just quit. She said, "I can't spend no more." It's about that way here. I'd hate to be in the woods right now. It's a little damp. For it's rained, the kind of rain today will just soak the ground. For it's not rained hard, just slow, steady rain. I'll guarantee you the ground's wet deep. Did you, Bucks? Yeah, we need it to freeze up nuts. It will. Just have patience. Did you ever find you a knuckle boom? Yeah, I ain't even went down to the sawmill and see how wet it is down there, but it ain't rained enough to really flood here, so. There ought to be one around somewhere. There's a lot of that stuff down in Mississippi and down in there that you can pick up pretty cheap. Alabama. Hey, Mark. Where are you from in Oregon? There's a guy that worked for me for like 3 years. Is from Baker City, one of the finest people I ever knowed in my life. Got 27 watching. That's pretty good. Eugene. That's on the West Coast, ain't it? Pa's probably got two or three. I mean, that man's got more junk than anybody ever seen in my life. I've got to make me some stickers next week. We're running low. I'd like to go out to Oregon and look that place over. I don't even know if the guy that worked for me is still alive or not. I ain't talked to him in a year or two, but now he was a fine feller. He really was. One of the workingest men I ever seen in my life. Is there a lot of going on in Oregon now, logging wise? Me too, Bucks. Really? Yeah, there's not a lot of going on here. I live in Buncombe County, and I know there's just two sawmills left in Buncombe County, me and another. And I mean, if both ours together wouldn't make even nowhere near a production mill. Sawmilling down here, there's 3 or 4 big mills, and that's about it. And when I started sawing back in the 80s, North Carolina is known as the timber capital of the world. And I don't even know where you sell grade lumber at now. I think Ethan Allen's still got a plant going. That's the only one I know of. All the rest of them shut down. All this stuff's going overseas. And if you're a small mill, it's hard to get lined up to where you can sell overseas. You don't never know if you're going to get your money or not. I had 2 tractor and trailer loads of lumber rock down there at the sawmill. Me and the fella sort of went in together on. And they just screwed us, and we wouldn't let them have it. It was white oak and ash. Several $1,000s there. I mean, that hit us hard. But, you know, I think so. I think barrel staves is big business right now. For somebody said they changed something about the rules in whiskey that they can only use the barrel one time, and wine uses a lot of oak barrels. And there's a lot of wine going on around this area here now. Oh, the hippies is stuck over here. I mean, they don't want nothing bothered. Me and a guy started to go into business making wine barrels, and that's what got me started watching Logger Wade. He had done a video on somewhere it makes them, and I seen right quick I didn't want to get into that. You have to age that stuff like 4 or 5 years before you even nail it up or put it in a barrel, and you got to have some pretty specialized equipment to do that. It's according storming. Like if you're just gonna like for structural stuff, framing and stuff like that, it don't take too awful long. But now, like if you're gonna build cabinets out of it or do flooring, you'd have to kiln dry it. It won't air dry long enough to get dry. It just gets to a certain point and quit. That's pretty close, nuts. About 10 months, and you know, it still needs to be kiln dried if you're going to use it inside the house. I've seen people try to make flooring out of just air dried lumber and it won't work. Virginia Tech, I believe it is, excavating, has got a real good story on building solar kilns. Get on the wood web, and you can find it there. That's true, Nathan. And when we had our dry kiln going, I never did get to where I could dry anything thicker than 4/4 oak. If it was 5 to 8/4, I'd honeycomb it every time. I didn't have enough patience to let it dry. 8/4 oak needs to dry for a minimum of 6 months before you even think about putting it in the kiln. And then it's risky. Yeah, that my kiln was a Nile. I really liked that little feller. It done good. I'd say that'd be something else going lobstering. But that's cold, that water splashing up on you and stuff. Now, that RF kill, is that sort of like a microwave kill, Skidder? There was a guy down here at Marshall put one of them microwave kills in. And this is back in the early 80s. And oh, he was going gangbusters. He had inherited a lot of money, and his family had been in the timber business forever. And he put one of them microwave kills in, and something went wrong. You know, sometimes you'll put a tater in a microwave, and there'll be one little spot of it'll still won't be cooked. Well, that did the lumber the same way, and they lost a bunch of money of that thing, and it cost it a fortune to run it. I think he's like, I don't know, he's up in thousands of dollars to run the charge through it. Another place I heard of come up with a vacuum kill, and it's supposed to kill house logs. I don't think a conventional kill will kill a house log. They're just too much there. Hey, County Line Logging. I really enjoyed that little kill. We made some good money of that thing. It just killed like 1,000 feet, and a man would need at least one kill like 2,000 to work out. But it done good. And I can't complain. That guy, you know, Skidder Kelvin's got that kill. Does it do good? Or has he had problems with it having wet spots in the lumber? We'll have to put some glasses on. Everything's running together. Yeah, 10,000 feet would be good. Yeah, that's right, Skidder Kev. I'd say there's a huge learning curve there. What them guys done, they had a thing that tested every piece. They was making small furniture parts. And it tested every piece, and that slowed the production down, so they quit using it, and that's what got them in trouble. Hey, Drive Shaft Drew. That's a good sized keel, Nathan. I'd like to have a 4,000 foot keel. I've heard good things about the vacuum keels. I really have. And Wood-Mizer come out with something like electric blankets you'd put in between the lumber, and they said that worked good. But I never did see one. I just heard rumors. And it's just made for small batches. That's a good looking job you done on that guitar drive, Shay. I like that. I'll check that out. Skidder, Kev. That Stevie's all right, ain't he? Dennis, I think a lot of Stevie. He's my buddy. We used to sell squares years ago. There was a place down in Tennessee, and they really paid good for them. But them guys that run it, all of them got old, and when they all retired, they just shut it down. They done turnings, and they bought a lot of squares. It was a big plant like thing. I took them 2 or 3 loads, and they paid me the best I've ever been paid for lumber down there. And they was some good people. BLC, I'd say that'd work pretty good. You could get popper down to where you just have to run it through the kiln just a few days after it's set on that asphalt. No, every once in a while they'll bring a load of logs in on tractor and trailer, but we don't. I don't deal in tractor and trailer load quantities. We had our own tractor and trailer for probably 4 or 5 years, and when we quit cutting production, well, I sold it. I had a Peterbilt knuckle boom truck, and I sold it. My son helped me for a long time, and he finally figured out there's a better way, and when he quit me, I sold all the rolling stock except the delivery truck. I just plain old wax skidder kill. They wasn't nothing fancy. I don't even know where I got the thing at, but it did mean a little bit to me, and I thought Stevie would appreciate it, and I believe he did. Yeah, I can see that BLC. Stevie's all right. Howdy, double bit Craftsman. Glad to have you on here. Let's see. Well, I'm going to have to shut this thing down in a minute. Well, I don't know how long we've been going. Don't know how to tell what time it is. But we've been going for a while, I guess. Does anybody know how long it's been? Thank you, Drive Shaft. I didn't figure anybody'd want to watch and hear what I had to say. Yeah, there's a guy had a dry kiln out in Swannoa, and he had a outside wood boiler, and he heated wood. 30 minutes. That's doing pretty good, ain't Skidder Kill. Corinth, Mississippi. You're way down there in the Southland. I love listening to you too, Kev. Me and you could sit and talk for hours. Hey, Greg, I wasn't on here long. I've been fighting for this thing 2 days trying to get it to work. Tonight's the first night I've got it to work. Thanks for stopping by, Bucks. Thanks, Josh. We try to keep about 20 or 30,000 feet of logs on hand. Hey, Stevie, where you been? Stevie is in the house. And I don't know what this is, Stevie. I really don't. It's a mess, but we've got it to work. And I've got this MacGyver in 12 ways to Sunday. Everything's just quit, I reckon. Huh. Stevie got everybody excited. We've been talking about you, Stevie. Beer. Beer works real good, Stevie. Videos Val. Hey. I think Cotton Top's from somewhere down there in Mississippi, ain't he? There you go, Kev. That's true. Hey there, Ken from Quebec. Better than the Grammys. Anything better than the Grammys. Columbus. You gotta be sneaky, Stevie. Sneaky. You gotta be incognito. Probably is. That Wade knows how to get some good meals. We was up there at the Paul Bunyan thing. I'd been wanting to have a beer with him forever. And I just went over there and sat down beside him. And he was eating a big old steak. That thing's about an inch thick. Embarrassed my wife to death. But I got to drink me a beer with him. Glad you got your truck fixed, Stevie. Now, these live feeds, they count as watch time? For I need a bunch of watch time. Everybody's really helped me out with my subscriptions. I've got over 800 subscriptions now. I really appreciate that. I just MacGyvered it up, Mark. I'm recording on my iPhone and looking at my MacBook Pro. I don't know what I'm doing. And when I first cut it on, there's a back feeding, but I reckon I've got them now to where they can stand one another. I used to work at a place that had a lot of DC in it, high voltage DC. That stuff would eat you up. I'm going to, Stormin'. I've made my mind up. I'm going to take 2 cameras down there and shoot at different angles and just do all kinds of stuff. See you later, Skitter Kev. You be good. It's something else, ain't it? It ain't been that long ago that you couldn't even take a picture and send it around the world. Right here, I'm talking to people all over the place. Ain't that something when you really think about it? Nothing like modern technology. I remember when them old Polaroid cameras come out. It developed herself. I think it's Polaroid land camera. Every man in the country took a picture of his wife naked, one of them. uh, that Skitter Kel's a good guy, I'll tell you that right now. Videos, well, sure. I do too, countrywide logging. That's sort of cool, ain't it? I can't even pronounce that, Dennis. But that sounds like a nice place to be at. I met Skitter up there to Paul Bunyan. He's one of the nicest people you ever talked to, him and his wife both. Ain't that the truth, Videos Bale? I got one or two of mother, but she tore them up. I thought she ruined my camera, and I jerked the shower curtain open and snapped it, and she slapped it down in all that water. Kentucky. My daughter's in Kentucky. Right next to Cincinnati, Dry Ridge. That's the truth, Tony. Thank you, Steve. If you're ever down this way, we'll sit on my porch. From the south. Well, boys, I'm going to shut this thing down. I've had a blast. I really have. I enjoyed this. And we might do this again here one of these days. And I'll try to get some videos out next week. Try to get some of the sawmill. So, I'm going to push a button now. Talk at you later.